Hello. I don't feel inspired. And I don't particularly feel inspiring to give this talk. Which, to be honest, I know it's not the best mindset before giving a TEDx talk in inspiration. Don't get me wrong. I know how weird this sounds, especially after so many great talks we've had here in all this event. But to be quite honest with you, what brought me to this stage was absolutely pure peer pressure by two fantastic and inspiring colleagues who coerced me into this. It was this and a lifelong fear of public speaking. But that's exactly where the story begins. They got me thinking, where does inspiration come from? How does it look like? Immediately I thought about these two people, these two colleagues, the person behind this event and a teacher with whom I co-coordinated the Climate Connect project. They invited me to talk tonight, and I thought, nope, no way. I don't feel inspired, and I don't feel inspiring. So they start sharing with me the potential I didn't see in myself. They shared moments where they felt inspired by something that I did or something that I said. And in that moment I realized we don't have to be inspired to inspire other people. When we think of inspiration, we often think of a lightning. We think of that burst of energy, illumination. Most of the times I see it more like a slow sunrise. It starts quietly, and before you realize, it lights the world around us. It may come through a fantastic speech or that sudden aha moment, but it may also look like a tender act of care, a gentle nod, a "how are you?" Maybe you thought you were just checking in someone else, but that person felt seen. Maybe you thought it was just a message or a smile, but for that person, that was exactly the energy they needed for a change. Sometimes it's those steady moments of care that make a difference. It's overcoming that language barrier and trying to communicate with other people. It's like weathering through time, creating amazing sculptures. It's that quiet discipline of doing the right thing even when no one's watching. They shape a culture of care that is taught not through instructions, but through examples. And what starts as an intention, it becomes natural, almost like a cultural trait. When I was a kid, I was taught that we are responsible for all the good things that we do. We're also directly responsible for all the bad things that we do. And what is usually left out is that we're also responsible for all the good things that we fail to do. And don't see it as a responsibility of going around and saving and solving all the world problems, but being accountable of our own actions and choices. Cleaning up the room before you leave or turning off the lights, leaving the place better than it was before, even if it wasn't you who did it. It might seem like a small action, but it can inspire the ones around you to be more accountable for their own actions and choices. Great changes have come to fruition through ordinary people doing the right thing consistently. When I was in Guatemala, I worked at a permaculture institute founded and run by 4 Mayan Cachiqueles. Since I spoke English and Spanish, I was invited to represent the institute at an event at a Pavarotti school. I was young, I was super excited to be there among so many change makers. And as I spoke to the people in the event, I met this inspiring American woman with whom I was chatting with. By the time I went to grab a coffee, everybody approached me. They were all wondering and asking me about her, and to be honest, I had no idea who she was. It turned out that she had won a Nobel Peace Prize. You can imagine, on my way going back to our conversation, how I felt. I was nervous. I was stuttering. She obviously noticed the change in my attitude, and she asked me what had happened. But to find out that Jody Williams had won a Nobel Prize by her work on banning landmines, and that she was in Guatemala with Rigoberta Menchú, also a Nobel laureate, that made me create a huge gap between us. In that moment, I learned a valuable lesson. While she was sharing her story at the event, I noticed that she was not any different from any of us. She was trying to solve a problem presented right in front of her, not for global recognition, not to solve the world's problem, but to try to solve a problem presented right in front of her. So, if we see the obstacles in our way as a step to overcome, and if we do it with our passion, we might have the slight possibility of changing the world. Luckily, among the Nobel laureate and the indigenous founders of the Institute, I've had and still have amazing people that inspire me every day to become a better person. That gentle nod with approval, encouraging of doing the right thing, keep on moving. So I'd like to dedicate this talk tonight to all the inspiring people around us, the ones that makes us feel seen, the ones that push us to a different challenge. So please take a few seconds and think of who that person might be for you. Think of the person who've had a positive impact in your life. It can be right beside you. It can be at home or even far away. And if you can, on your way out, try to reach out that person. Let them know of that positive impact they've had in your life. And if you can't, you can carry on with their legacy. Orson Bean once said that being happy is a revolutionary act. So find out what puts that smile on your face and the sparkles in your eyes. And let it guide you through the world. And who knows, maybe that person beside you might use that inspiration and change their own. When you think your actions don't matter, just remember, someone, somewhere, might be inspired by the way you care. Thank you.